Happy Friday, Magee families. Here is our video message for this week. I wanted to start off with developing a further understanding for you about our school safety drills that we do every school year. We are required by the state of Wisconsin to practice safety drills regularly throughout our school year. So typically we do 3 times a year an evacuation drill. Every month we practice a fire drill, and then when we safely line up outside, the whole school discusses the route to our evacuation safety site. So no matter what, even if we are practicing an evacuation 3 times a year, we are always having the discussion every month during a fire drill. 2 times a year, we practice what's called a hold or a lockdown drill, and that may mean that there's something unsafe going around the building in the community, and we just want to make sure that we are on hold and that we are safe within the building. And we practice that 2 times a year. And then, of course, we practice our tornado drills 2 times a year as well. So that's just a little information about the safety drills that we practice here at Magee. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We've been talking a lot about safety here at Magee during our morning announcements and throughout the day. And during our morning announcements, we're always having this safety conversation that you see on this slide in the video. It says recess expectations, but we also talk about how this is just the expectations in our school setting, in and out, and as well as during recess. And we talk about how hands and feet and our body need to be safe. And we talk about it does not matter if the physical action was playful or meant to be funny. It could have been playful or funny for you, but that does not mean it's playful or funny for the other person that was on the other end receiving that physical action. So we talk a lot about hands, feet, and body safe, meaning no hitting, no kicking, no pushing, no shoving, no punching, and no tackling. And we also talk a lot about how safety also means by the words that we are using. So we talk a lot about no name calling or verbally hurting another person's feelings, because we need to feel safe both physically and mentally while we are in a school. And I do ask that you review these expectations with your students. We do notice that at the beginning of the school year, students react first by pushing or hitting or verbally shouting. And we really want to make sure that we are helping our students stopping and pausing before they react. So your help with having these conversations will only help our expectations here at school. Another thing we talk about when it comes to safe is disruptive behavior that hurts our learning. You can see on this slide on the right is what is disruptive behavior that hurts our learning. And then on the right-hand side, the green is what we should be doing while we are learning. And that sort of counters the disruptive behavior. We do a check every morning during our announcements. Are you in the red or are you in the green, ready to learn today? And these two slides, actually, the recess expectation slide and the are you ready to learn today slide, were both created by our student advisory. So these are brought forward every day, and our students helped us create these to make sure that our learning environment is safe for everyone. Along with that, I'm going to start talking about our school goals. And one of our school goals is about thinking differently as to how we teach life skills. So we have a focus each month on a specific life skill here at Magee. In September, we focused on self-monitoring. And our goal in September is to manage our own impulsivity by self-monitoring our own actions and behaviors. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. In October, we're going to talk about our working memory. In November, flexibility. In December, we're going to talk about planning. In January, we'll talk about emotional control. In February, we'll talk about organization. In March, task initiative. In April, self-control. And then in May, we will use previous teaching materials about creating, imagining, and innovating through our habits of mind. And then every June, we have an end of the year assembly that says, recognizes staff, students, and we watch an end of year video. So in September, our life skills focus as a school was that I can manage my impulsivity by self-monitoring my own actions. And on this slide, you can see 3 different images. These were activities that students were doing during team time and during the morning announcements that I lead. So one week, we learned about what is self-monitor and what does that look like. And we really focused on 4 different things when we were self-monitoring in school. Checking your work for mistakes, understanding how you feel, looking for ways to do better, and knowing what you do well. And that first activity was identifying one of those 4 things and identifying what one you're the strongest in, and then drawing it, and then thinking about the positive things that come from that ability when you self-monitor. The second thing we did as a school was we reflected on how we can self-monitor. So on the sheet, you can see we focused on, I check my work, I turn in work before it's time, I didn't do well on my own, my handwriting is not clear, I have trouble asking for help, I annoy some of my friends, and I get in trouble in class. And students had to take time during week number 2 to reflect on these specific aspects. And then this week, they took their self-reflection and created their own self-monitoring goal that they will track and reflect on next week. So my example goal that I'm going to work on while the other students are working on their self-monitor goal is I will work harder at asking for help when it is needed. And next week, every day, students will take time to think about their goal and how they did on that day. And at the bottom of the sheet, you can see numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So number 1 is I didn't do this goal at all. Number 2 is I did this goal some of the time. Number 3 is I did this goal most of the time. And number 4 is I did this goal all of the time. And today during morning announcements, students expressed some of the goals that they're going to work on. They're going to work on listening better in class, raising their hand before they're speaking, making sure they know the steps that need to be taken to complete a task in the classroom. So what I'm asking you to do is when you're eating or hanging out with your children, ask them what their goal is for next week that they're going to self-monitor and practice. If you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So what's happening? What's coming up? We only have 18 mums left. I thank you so much. We have never sold over 100 mums in a week. So this has gone fast. So thank you everyone so much for purchasing those mums. We have 18 left. There's still $15 a plant. Come and get them so that we can sell out all of these mums and continue to provide the resources we need in our classroom and outdoor learning. We do have a school picture retake or makeup day, and that's all day on Tuesday, October 22nd. So mark your calendars for that. We are all aware that the high school flooded this week during the heavy rain that we obtained, and it impacted the high school's homecoming. Yes, the elementary schools still celebrated those Spirit Days this week, but we also want to celebrate Spirit Days when Homecoming 2.0 happens October 7th through the 11th. So you can see on Monday the 7th, it's Pajama Day. On Tuesday the 8th, it's Fall Colors Day. On Wednesday the 9th, it's Jersey Day. On Thursday the 10th, it's Hat Day. And then, of course, we'll end the week on the 11th with our Spirit Day, either Magee apparel or KM apparel. And this is just a foreshadow for the month of November. Time flies, and I want to make sure that you have these things on your calendar. Parent-teacher conferences are scheduled for November 4th, so keep an eye out for Sign Up Geniuses to come through Seesaw and your teachers' newsletters to sign up for a time to meet with your child and children's teachers. This is mandatory. We do expect all parents to attend a conference at this time. Every year in November for Veterans Day, we take the time as a school to write letters of appreciation. And we determine who those letters go to by asking help from you. We know there are a lot of veterans in our community, and we know that you are familiar with who are veterans in our community. And we would love it if you know a veteran that would just really appreciate being surprised on Veterans Day with letters from our students. We make sure that these letters are done and mailed to get to the veterans by Veterans Day. So in the e-newsletter, where you can access this slideshow, there is a link to a Google form that I ask you as community members to fill out if you know a veteran or veterans that would really love to get letters from our students. I do ask that this gets completed soon so that I can share these veterans and their rank and everything that they did in their military service to the students and the teachers so they can write those letters to them. So if you know anyone that is a veteran and you know that they would appreciate some letters of appreciation and gratitude, please fill out the form that's in the e-newsletter. This is also in the e-newsletter, upcoming October events and October-November events. You can take a second to glance at that, and this is also visible in the main office as well as in the school when you enter in the main entrance. Just a couple PTO updates. There is an upcoming October meeting reminder on October 2nd at 3:45 in our Magee Library meeting resource room. Attendees who are not part of the board are entered into a drawing for fun prizes. Last month, two attendees won free paddleboard use, so that's really exciting. And the PTO meetings are 1 hour long. It is a great way to learn about what the PTO is doing for our school and community, and you receive an update from me during that meeting as well. So if you're interested in joining virtually, you can scan the QR code, or you know what, you can join us at 3:45 on October 2nd. If you do join us in person, please make sure you stop into the main office first. And before you know it, our fall Scholastic Book Fair is going to be here, and that is the week of October 21st through October 25th. Along with that, save the date, the PTO-sponsored Book Fair Monster Mash is on Thursday, October 24th from 5 to 7, and they are deep in planning it, and it's going to be a fun event. Always packed, always a lot of guests, so be prepared to have some fun. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you had a wonderful week and you have an amazing weekend. I look forward to seeing everyone on Monday. Take care.